Hi everyone, it's Rebecca from The Healthy Gut. I'm going to do a wonderful live cooking class with you today, and I can't wait to show you how to make my chocolate truffle recipe. So just make sure that everybody can hear me okay. So click like or pop me a comment and let me know that you can hear me. So hi Coomes, I can see you've just tuned in. Let me know if my audio is coming through okay. So just pop me a comment or click me a like so I know it's working. Hopefully the audio is fine. Otherwise I'll be talking and you won't be able to hear me. Oh, thanks Kim. Love the hair. Straightened just for you guys today. All right. So guys, hopefully I can, yep, there we go. I've got my camera resting. I think I need to tilt my camera just slightly. Okay. So today I'm going to show you how to make my chocolate truffle recipe. It literally takes 5 minutes and then you're enjoying delicious chocolate truffles. It's a low carb, low sugar alternative to regular truffles. Great for Easter. A really fun recipe for the kids to get involved with as well because they can get their hands dirty, which, hey, who doesn't want to get dirty with chocolate hands? I certainly do. And this is part of the HYPOXI at Home program. So I'm giving you a little taster of what it's like when you are a member of HYPOXI at Home. So guys, it's a wonderful program. Luke Marino, who's the personal trainer, is delivering some outstanding live exercise classes. I've been tuning in every week to participate. I'm feeling a little sore today after our LBT legs, bum and butt and thighs class yesterday. I won't lie, I've worked some muscles that haven't been worked for a while. But you also get a full-length cooking class with myself, as well as special guest appearances from HYPOXI coaches, and it's a one-off price of 49 Australian dollars, so it's an absolute steal. Great value, and you get heaps and heaps of content. So before anything else, let's start cooking. So our chocolate truffle recipe today just has a couple of ingredients in it. So I use a base of desiccated coconut. Do look for a unsweetened desiccated coconut. It's crazy, but so many of these are sweetened. We don't need extra sugar. So I've got half a cup of my desiccated coconut. Into the bowl that goes. And then I've got half a cup of raw cacao powder. Now I love raw cacao powder, and the difference between this and say a normal cocoa is that this has not been heat treated like cocoa powder has. So it still has all the amazing properties that cacao has, great minerals and nutrients, and it hasn't been destroyed by heat. So when you're using raw cacao, I always recommend use it in something that's a raw dessert, or where you're not going to heat it too much so that you can still keep those properties in and enjoy it. So I've got half a cup of raw cacao. I'll add that to my bowl. So that's it for the dry ingredients. Now we want some wet ingredients, and I'm going to add a couple of different nut butters, and I wanted to talk you through the ones that I've got so that you can also decide what works best for you. Literally the sky is the limit, so you can choose any nut butter that you like that works well with your digestive system. I've got a macadamia nut butter here, an almond nut butter, good old peanut butter, that also works. And I've got this almond cream, which is by Almo. I love their almond cream. I use it to make my own almond milk. You just use this and blitz it with some water. It's fantastic. It's fresh, and it means you're reducing the packaging that goes to landfill. So that's also really great. But you could also use a seed butter if you don't do well with nuts. So a sunflower seed or a tahini, something like that. So I'm going to use a combination today, and I want a total of 8 tablespoons of nut butter going into my recipe. So I'm just going to use a mix. So I've got 1 tablespoon here of my macadamia nut butter, I think I'm going to do 2 of that because I just love macadamia butter. It's fantastic. So 2 tablespoons there. What else do you reckon, guys? What nut butter do you think I should put in next? Peanut butter, I hear you say. Yes. Let's do some peanut butter. Okay, so we've got, that's 3 tablespoons. And we'll do 4 tablespoons. I'm running out. I need to go and buy some more stuff. Okay. And then I've got this gorgeous almond butter. Sorry, almond nut butter, yes. Which was dark roasted. So it's a really lovely, deep, rich aroma of almonds, which I just adore. So I'm going to scrape that out. It's all stuck at the edges. Now, nut butters are great. So there's another tablespoon there. But they can have a lot of oil just sitting on the top. So if you find your nut butter is very oily at the top, and this is a good quality nut butter that hasn't had heaps of crap kind of put into it, just give it a stir. Just mix it up. The oils will then emulsify back into the nut butter, and then you'll be scooping out the good quality nuts and the fat from them, and not just getting a greasy slick. Okay. I'm going to put the last of my macadamia nut butter in here because hey, it's almost out, and then I'm just going to add a final 2 tablespoons from my almond cream. Okay, now if you've got any questions about this recipe, guys, please pop it in the comments. I'll come and have a look in just a second. 1 and then 2. Now, you don't have to use a combination of nut butters like I've just done. I just happen to have all of these on hand. They were all kind of running out. So rather than having several jars in my pantry of almost finished nut butters, I just, let's just use them. So you could use all peanut butter. You could use all almond butter. You could use half and half, for instance. You don't have to have this combination like I've done today. Okay, let's make some space. Get rid of all these jars, now empty jars. And if you're like me, keep these jars, give them a good wash, and then they're great for any sauces or marinades, and you can store them quite easily. And then we've got our rice malt syrup here, which is going to be our sweetener. If I can open it. And I want to put in 2 tablespoons of this. Now, you can, by all means, add less and you can add more. What we're wanting to do is make sure that we have the right consistency so that we can mix this all together. Okay. There's a concoction of sorts going on in there. And then finally, I've got a little bit of almond milk. Now you could use any kind of milk that you can tolerate, but I'm using almond milk because I am dairy free. But first off, I'm going to start off by just giving this a really good mix because we want the nut butters and then the dry ingredients to all come together. Now we're looking for a consistency that is firm and not runny, because we want to ultimately roll these into little truffle balls and then coat them with some extra cacao or coconut. Now, I'll hold this up so you can see. So it's a bit bitty and there's still quite a lot of powder. So I have my almond milk and I'm just going to pour in 1 tablespoon at a time at this point, and then as we get closer to the consistency we like, then I will add in less at a time. And the golden rule with cooking is you can always add more but never take away. So don't pour in heaps of almond milk or the milk of your choice and then find you've got a really sloppy mess. Okay, that still needs a little bit more, it's still quite dry. Now, if you do accidentally add extra almond milk, too much almond milk, then what do? Well, you can just add some extra raw cacao powder and some extra desiccated coconut, because that will help dry it up again. Likewise, if your mixture just is too dry, even once you've followed the ingredients, and that can happen if you're in a really cold climate and it's just keeping everything kind of quite stuck together, then you can just add some more liquids. Okay, now the difference you'll see here is that I've now got a nice firm ball, and that means to me that that is now ready for rolling. Now, before I start rolling, before I get my hands nice and dirty, I'm going to come and read some of these messages that I can see popping up on the screen. Okay. So Helen says yes to peanut butter. I say yes to peanut butter too. And Kim says, thanks for the tips on butters. I was wondering if I could just use one or mix. Yep, so you can use one or a multiple. Now I have down here a plate of some desiccated coconut and also some raw cacao powder. Now this is the fun bit. This is the bit that kids love to get involved with. I'm just going to take my ring off so that doesn't get coated. And I've got, so the desiccated coconut on one side, I've got my raw cacao on the other side. And then I've got my tray lined with grease-proof paper and a few I've prepared earlier for you to show you what it's like. And you literally just grab a small ball like that. And you can see it's quite firm. Roll it in your hands, and this is the messy bit. You'll end up with a bit of cacao all over your hands. Roll it in your hands so that it turns into a nice solid ball, and then drop it in the dusting of your choice. I really like coconut, as you can tell. There's coconut in here and I'm rolling it in coconut. But you can also dust it in the raw cacao. And all you need to do, guys, is just literally roll them up in balls. Now I would recommend doing them smaller rather than larger, just because it's nice to have like one or two bites when it comes to these truffles, rather than having this really big truffle. It's a bit overwhelming. So, you know, kind of like a, I don't know what size that is. It's like half an apricot size, so quite small. So you then just get it and you roll it into the flours. So I've got 2 teaspoons here, and I'm just dusting it in my raw cacao. And then I'm going to dust it in my desiccated coconut. And there you have it, chocolate truffles. So my little coconut truffles, and then my little cacao truffles, and I'll add them to my tray. I'll just give my hands a quick rinse and I'll come over, and that is it. Hopefully they don't fall over. And there you go, guys. Beautiful homemade chocolate truffles with only a couple of ingredients. They take no time to make at all. They're absolutely delicious, and they're a really great low carb, low sugar option for your Easter treat. I keep these in the fridge in an airtight container. They will last for many days, if they last that long, and they're great with a cup of tea or for an after dinner little sweet treat. Or let's face it, any time on Easter Sunday when we're allowed to eat chocolate all day long. There you have it, guys. So, like I said, this is just a little teaser of the HYPOXI at Home program. We'd love to have you over there. We've actually got a full cooking class this afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Australian Standard Eastern Time. It's a one-off fee of $49. You'll get weeks and weeks and weeks of content, and you'll see myself cook a heap of low-carb and delicious recipes that the whole family can enjoy, as well as having Luke Marino, our amazing personal trainer, taking us through some really fun, low-impact exercises that are great for our problem areas, which are our hips, tummies, bottoms and thighs. So I hope to see you there soon. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to pop them in the comments below, and I'll come and answer them at a later stage. Have a great day, guys. Happy Easter.